Okay, we're back for routines for rewiring your brain. You need to plan your days for success. So the other night I was just listening to Earl Nightingale, a record recording of his presentation in 1950. He's kind of the father of positive thinking and motivational thought. It's really cool. It's on YouTube. You should check it out. And to follow up from our screen time lesson, it is slow and his voice is very soothing. You can close your eyes and listen to it while you're laying in bed, which is exactly what I was doing the other night. And he was talking about a story that if there's two ships and they both set sail from a port in the morning, and one ship has a captain who knows exactly where he is going and has a map of exactly how to get there, versus the other ship has no one steering it and there's no map to get to the destination, which ship is going to get there faster and easier? Clearly the one with intention. So when we create our days with intention, you'll look back at the end of the day and think to yourself, wow, I got a lot done. And I do this every day, almost every day. So every day I try to spend time with each one of my children. There's 5 of them. So that takes, even if I do it for 10 minutes, that's 1 whole hour out of my day. But I do it with intention. So every day I have 10 minutes or more with each one of my kids. Very important to me. And I intentionally make sure that I do it. And then with my work, I'm very intentional about what I'm trying to create and put out into the world so I can teach people how their brains work, help them to make their brains work better so we can all live our authentic lives feeling whole and fabulous. But that isn't going to happen unless I get up with some intention. So here's some of the ways that I make that happen. And, this is simplified, but it works for you and for children. And I've got my kids doing this too, like I talked about with our screen time routines and rituals. You should have a routine. And when I was talking in screen time, I talked to you about my bedtime routine. Yes, I am a 46-year-old woman, but I have a bedtime routine. Hopefully you have one too. And basically when it is time for bed, no matter what is going on, except for sometimes on Fridays and Saturdays, but no matter what is going on, that is when I get up and I go get ready for bed. And I have a routine to chill my system out so that I can attempt to get a good night's sleep. So here, there's use the bathroom, brush your teeth, wash your hands, but kids need this routine every single day for structure, as do we. So you get the gist with the picture, but I'm going to break it down. So the routine is same bedtime and same rise time every day, even on the weekends. So I get up very early during the week. I get up a little later, but almost as early on the weekends. So my brain knows when it's time to go to bed and when it's time to wake up every day. That doesn't fluctuate because of the day of the week. In the morning, I have a morning routine where everybody around here knows that I like to ease in and out of my days. So I wake up, and you may have heard me say this before, I have a light routine of how I use the lighting in our home. So I wake up and I turn on basically a few different accent lights. So it's still dark and lovely, and I make coffee and I'll sit. I have a meditation routine. I have a journaling routine. I'm always hopeful that nobody will wake up so I can have a little bit of time to myself. And those are precious time. That's precious time for me in the morning. And then my children wake up and I have a whole other routine for getting them all ready and out the door for school. We have a routine for Saturday, which is fun and relaxing. We make breakfast and hang out together. And we, basically every day of the week, we have a routine in the morning. We all know how it's going to go. So it's easy peasy and it takes the thinking out of it. And I have that for the rest of my day. I have my work times. I have my exercise times. I have my family time. I have my come down from the daytime. You need that. So if you don't have that, create that for yourself. In each aspect of your day, create a routine that works for you. I was just on the phone. Again, I've been on the phone with a lot of people lately doing coaching calls, but I was on the phone yesterday talking about my routine. When I make dinner for my family, which I make dinner every night, a big organic, wholesome dinner, I put on Italian cooking music, like you've heard me say before, or light jazz or Michael Bublé. I pour a little glass of wine, which most times I don't even drink because I'm busy cooking. But what it makes me feel like is that every night is like Saturday night where I'm having a dinner party. And yeah, that's going a little far. But at the same time, I don't feel like I'm being tortured in the kitchen having to make another meal for my children. It makes that aspect of my day fun and downtime for my brain after I've worked and I've run them around or done whatever I've needed to do for the day. That actually has become a pleasurable part of my day instead of a necessary evil, if you will. So my point is, by adding music to your life, which is the end, or by thinking about the parts of your routine and thinking about a way to make it a little bit more fun and relaxing for yourself, you can take the feeling of drudgery out of your day and add in the spice of life, if you will. So I already told you how we have Alexas in all the rooms. There's an Alexa in my bathroom. I always crank up the tunes while I'm taking a shower and getting ready. So, and yeah, I have music out a lot. And don't get me wrong, I have a lot of silent time in my life too, but that makes it so that my getting ready for the day time is a pump up time for me, which is what I enjoy. So you get it. So have a dinner routine, have a bedtime routine, have a homework routine, giving kids and yourself a little bit of time to come down before you go right into the homework. Remember, your brain needs breaks. So it's on, off. You have to have off time. And like you've heard me say, when I drive my children, many times in the car, I don't do anything. They're silent rides. And that's off time for my brain. I'm on automatic pilot to get them from school, so I'm not even thinking about the driving. Downtime. And I create downtime where I just sit, and I'll talk about that in just a minute. When you take a break, do not make the breaks thinking. So on and off, on and off. On days where you're not doing a lot of thinking, add in something new. Do your most thought-provoking tasks early in the day. It's proven for most people, 99% of people, to be the most effective way to use our brain because of fatigue across the day. So do the most important task early. So right now it's morning time. I have a million emails that need to be responded to. I have things that need to be purchased. I have all this kind of easy brain work, but there's lots of it. But these videos are important to me, and I need to have the mental stamina to be able to tell you what I want to tell you. So I'm doing the videos first, and I will have to get to all of those things later on because this is the most thought-provoking work that I have for the day. Okay, take meal breaks. This is a big one for me, and I realized last night that I did not do it. I cooked a beautiful dinner. I made organic pumpkin bread because it's fall. It was the first time I made it with some of my kids, which was really fun. Then I violated one of my brain health rules. I just ate some chicken while I was standing at our island, and we were still doing the toothpick test in our pumpkin bread. I ate some chicken, ate some vegetables. I ate a little piece of pumpkin bread, and then I missed my run yesterday, but so I went for an evening power walk just as the sun was going down. It was becoming too dark, but I ate at the island, and I don't like doing that. I sit for all of my meals so that I'm taking a relaxing meal break, or at least I pretend to. I do it when I'm by myself, and I try to do it with my friends and family more, obviously. Take meal breaks. We've gotten away from that, and it really is bad for your brain. Okay, work routines for productivity. You're probably not going to like this, but I love it. Research study, a big study of 5.5 million daily records, shows that the most effective and productive way to work is 52 minutes on, 17 minutes off. Isn't that awesome? It's awesome that you now know that because it frees you from the feeling that you need to work for 5 hours straight. Because now you know if you work for 52 minutes and you take a 17-minute break, you're going to be the most productive. If you work for 5 hours straight, you're going to be less productive. Knowledge is power. So start slow if you can't go 52 and then 17, because 17 minutes, if you're like me, if you're a producer, 17 minutes off is going to feel like a lot in the middle of your workday. So start small. You can go 2 minutes off, right? Or 5 minutes off. And 90 minutes on and 10 minutes off. You massage those numbers. It can be 2 minutes on if you're a person who isn't that productive. You need to force yourself to be more on. You get the point. So if you have one of those brains where your get up and go needs to get going, then you force yourself the opposite, to work for 17 minutes and then take a longer break. But you want to break it up. You need to take breaks within the hours. So you've heard me talk about my iWatch. It taps me every hour. So I don't really do 52 because I wait for the tap, but now it's part of my habit. So every hour it taps me, and every hour I get up and I take about a 10-minute break. And it's excellent. It's really great. I love it. So I really highly recommend it, because back in the day, I'd work for 7 hours straight. I'd never eat. I'd literally never get up from my desk. I just keep working. Very bad for my brain. My brain's in a really good spot right now because of all the things that I do. Okay, when you break it up, if you can, you want to get away from your desk and use my open focus technique. And I've talked about this before, and there's a video on YouTube of me talking about open focus. So if you can get up and away from your desk or your work area, ideally if you can go outside, that's the best thing for you. And right now, if I'm looking at the screen, I'm using very closed focus, and I'm in my head, I'm thinking. That's very closed focus. When you're up here in your brain and you're thinking a lot, you're closing your focus to focus on something. So if you're doing that for work, when you get up for your breaks, you need to open your focus. So hopefully you're able to step outside for a few minutes and look around. And to open your focus, you want to listen for the birds, feel the wind on your face and through your hair. If there's cars going by, notice the cars. Look at the sunshine, notice the cloud formations. You're opening your focus and you're taking in the big picture instead of having very focal, small picture thinking. And that, you know what that does? It brings your high beta down. It's going to bring your delta down. And what that's going to do is bring your stress and anxiety and overdrive down, and your fatigue and overwhelm. And that's why it increases productivity, because when you come back, your brain is refreshed and you're back in the middle of calm, focused electrical energy in your brain. It's all neuroscience. It's not foo-foo. It literally works. So when you take the breaks, you can't control your phone outside. Don't take your phone. Just go. And if you can't go outside, go to the water cooler. That's why water cooler breaks work. If I'm in my office, I just go to the front desk and I distract my team by chatting with them. It's usually professional stuff, but we just chat, we laugh for a few minutes, and then I go back to work, giving my brain the downtime and the break. Okay, have a don't do list. I have this one also. Things that I do not do in my work day, and I save them as a reward most times. So mine, it's troll the internet. I'm not a social media person. If you've seen my Instagram, you know I have to force myself to post stuff and to look at it. But don't engage in the distractions during the day. So if you're a social media person, then you put social media off maybe to 2 times a day. You check social media for a few minutes before you get to your lunch break, and then you can check social media at the end of the day also. Make it a reward. I like to troll the internet, and usually it's things that I need to look up, but I will not do that until my work is done for the day, and I save that for the end when my brain is more tired. If you like to check sports scores, you do not do that first thing in the morning. You save it to later on. Okay, how to build calm focus. As a skill, read a book. Internet reading is up 40%. And only 26% of people read books anymore. I'm constantly reading a book. I love reading books. And it is a way for you to sustain focus. Sit down, read a book for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Nobody does it anymore. We read blog posts, which that's okay if you're reading mine, but you get the idea. To sustain focus, you have to practice that as a skill. You have to sit down and actually focus on something. So just sit and chill. So if you want to increase your calm, just sit on the couch and sit there for 10 minutes. And I'll do this. It's usually not 10 minutes. It's usually 5 minutes or so, where I'll just sit there and my kids will come in and out and I'll just chat and I'm just doing nothing. I'm just being. It's beautiful. It's wonderful for you if you can get in the habit of doing it across your day for just a few minutes. Practice attentive listening. This is focus building. Most of us do not actually listen to other people while they're talking. We're too busy formulating what we're going to say about ourselves. So if you actually listen to a person, you are attentively focusing on what they are saying, and then think about how you're going to respond to them thoughtfully, not switch the topic to about yourself. And that will help you build calm focus. Okay, skill building, learn something new every day. I try to learn something new every day, no joke. So like my pumpkin bread recipe was a new recipe for me. It was fun, but I had to use some thinking. My kids play chess with each other and they're always learning how to be better chess players. Use a new word spontaneously each day. Say it with insouciance. You like how I did that? Insouciance means, you say that word all the time. It's not like you're trying to use a new word. It's just par for the course. But if you do that day after day after day, you'll build your vocabulary and you'll start, stimulating those synapses in your brain and get the juices flowing up there. Play games. I love to play games with my kids. Don't get me wrong. Typically, I'm forcing myself to do it as practicing downtime. But once I get into it, it becomes really fun. So Saoirse, my youngest daughter, and she and I tend to play. We played Uno with Declan the other day. We have tons of board games and we'll usually we have Scrabble. We play board games. They're really fun. And, they keep the brain going there too. Be spontaneous. It's amazing how many people are not spontaneous. And people who are spontaneous live happier and better lives. So sometimes if somebody wants you to go do something, and even though you have an agenda for the day, it's okay to take a break and go do that thing spontaneously. It will make your brain feel like, whoa, what is going on here? I'm doing something spontaneous, and it's going to wake up those synapses. So a story from the summer was I was sitting there hanging out, and I didn't feel like putting my bathing suit on because it was like a long day. And we got up to the pool, and my husband and all my kids were playing around, and most of them left. And my little daughter was in the pool by herself, and she's splashing around having a fun time. But then it popped into my brain, I'm just going to jump in with my clothes on. There's only a few people there. And she was in front of me splashing around, and I just got up and jumped in wearing a pretty, upscale casual outfit. You should have seen her eyes. She loved it, and I loved it too. And the couple people who saw me do it were loving it also. And then we swam around for a half hour in my outfit, her in her suit. And it was such a fun time because I just was spontaneous and jumped in the pool. I could have just been a poo-poo meister and sat there in the chair. I had magazines. That's how I was trying to have some downtime. I never read magazines, so that's like brainless material for me. But being spontaneous was so much more fun. Okay, up next, tips to rewire your brain. So follow me through to the next lesson because I can't wait to give you these tips. Thanks. See you then.